Okay, so today is Friday, October the 21st of 2011, and I did not, unfortunately, get to go to Huntsville again last night to see Ghostbusters up on the big screen for a fifth viewing. So, got my fingers crossed for next Thursday night. Maybe I'll get to break the record and everything. So, but I have been working a lot on Ghostbusters decorations around the house for Halloween. I cleared off the top of my computer hutch, which had a bunch of Disney stuff up there on it, and I have slowly been putting some Ghostbusters stuff up on top of it. Now, the one detail about this setup that really drives me batty are those bright orangish reddish doors on the front of the old Kenner Real Ghostbusters firehouse. So I wanted to do something about that, and wouldn't you know, apparently at some point in the distant past, I found some extra doors to the firehouse and just tossed them in a box with some other stuff. Came across those the other day, so now I have a spare set of doors that I can paint black to put on the firehouse. And here they are. So, just have to go put those on the big display in there and let you guys see what you think about the results looking better now.
I see a red door and I want to paint it black. No colors anymore, I want them to turn black.
Well, that was actually the first time that I had taken my Mattel Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from San Diego Comic-Con out of his packaging. I didn't go to Comic-Con, but I did manage to buy him off Matty Collector the following week. And, you know, for 70 bucks, pretty nice piece. I like the fact that he sort of vaguely feels like a marshmallow. But also for 70 bucks, I would expect a better paint job. I thought this was just dusty, but it's just a very light coating of paint that did not completely cover the white underneath. So, good sculpt. He's a little bit wall-eyed, don't you think? Shouldn't his eyes converge more in the Muppet Magic Triangle? But no, he's kind of looking off in two different directions there. So that's probably my least favorite. But still, he is the biggest Stay Puft toy that's ever been released. And this would be the smallest. Now, this originally came in a little tiny snow dome. They had rubber stamps for it. They had pencils for it. And if you own some of these 20 years later, the liquid in there has all evaporated, and you've got nothing but the flecks of reflective material are in there. Of course, now I didn't wait 20 years. I cracked these puppies open back in the day and cut them out to make little tiny toys from them. They also had a little teeny tiny Slimer, very skinny Slimer, I guess to fit inside the cylinder better. And they had Peter, and they had the No Ghost logo. Again, they'd sort of stretched it vertically to fit inside the cylinder better. Now, many years ago, this little teeny tiny Peter Venkman and this little, let's see, who was it? Fujifilm Ectomobile, they had a little teensy cameo in a Star Wars toy video that I did entitled Whoever Dives with the Most Toys Wins. It was the X-Wing fighter hangar, and all the X-Wings are stretching off into infinity, and the Y-Wings and everything, and you got all the pilots, and it was forced perspective. I was using larger toys closer to the camera and smaller toys further away, so really it was only about yay deep, but it looked like it stretched off for miles and miles and miles into infinity. And I had one dead spot where I didn't have any toys or Star Wars figures of the right scale that would fit in there, so boom, I put in the Ecto-1 and Peter Venkman, and nobody ever caught it. It says one broken antenna on the Ecto-1 that I've got up there with my Halloween display. And I'm hoping I can find something stronger than the super glue that I tried last time. So any recommendations, feel free to chime in with something that will hold that in place. So the one thing that I really hoped before now I would have great news about was to be able to come on and say, hey, I found my combat boots. I still have not found my combat boots. I thought at one point, you know, I guess I got rid of them when the basement flooded at the old house. And then I thought, no wait, I used them as a character named Sir Nigel Blumbert in a skit called The Movie Hunters for TV-15. And then I said no, because those were shot after the basement flooded at the old house. So what did I do with those boots? Where are they? I don't recall seeing them since I moved into this house. So they may just have gotten misplaced, shuffled, lost, thrown away. I don't know. And it's driving me crazy. I've looked at some that I really want for my costume. but I'm just not going to have the money to buy those for this year. They might be something that I get, as I upgrade to a Proton pack and all of that stuff. I might go with really, really accurate boots. And in the meantime, my friend Wes has loaned me this pair right here. But while looking for the combat boots in all the most unlikely places I could think of the other day, I did at least find this poster tube, which has my one sheet for Ghostbusters and a couple of little posters for Ghostbusters 2. But I can't find the poster seen in this photo that has the tagline under the Ghostbusters 2 logo. It says, "Guess who's coming to save the world again?" I don't know where that poster is. So I went yesterday to Walmart looking for poster frames that would fit these posters right here, and I was going to go ahead and frame them for Halloween. Unfortunately, my Ghostbusters one sheet is 1 inch too tall for the largest poster frame that I could find at Walmart. One of the last deep dark corners of stacked boxes that I went to, though, contained some Extreme Ghostbusters toys, including an Ecto-1 that really should have had the batteries removed before it was placed into a box. So that's a project of cleanup that I'm going to have to get to and hope that it's not damaged beyond all repair. So I'm going through boxes in my parents' attic, and I find this phone. I love this Ghostbusters phone, and I pull it out, and in the dim lighting of the attic, I see black streaks of paint. It looked like Freddy Krueger had just clawed his face. It had been stored in a box with some of the costume backpacks and things like that, and they had all rubbed up against it. And I was just sick. I was sitting there trying to get stuff off of it, and nothing was coming off. So I set it to the side. Insult to injury, the very next box that I opened contained the original box that this came in, empty. Yeah. Luckily, I was able to sit there with my thumbnail and some Goo Gone one day and just sit there and really, really scrub, and I got all that old black paint off without hurting the plastic or the paint job that was underneath. And yes, I've tested it, and it is still a functional telephone. It's very, very low volume though, so I'm not going to use it. So, but still, very happy to find that. Oh, and one of these rubber things was missing, and I managed to find it in a box a few days later. So, very happy about both of those. So, there you go, Ghostbusters telephone. Now, once you're looking at a big Ghostbusters display in there like that, you start to become conscious of characters they haven't produced yet. I mean, we've got the Keymaster. Where's the Gatekeeper? Sigourney Weaver action figure. So she might just be taken out of this box and put up there with those guys as a stopgap measure until Mattel hopefully produces a Dana Barrett. Okay, so she's a little bit out of scale, but they kind of got, like a Dudley Moore, Susan Anton kind of thing happening there. Of course, I just think it'd be really cool for somebody to go, "Hey, what figure did you use for Dana up there in your Ghostbuster display?" I'd be able to say, "Well, it's Ripley," believe it or not. Now, back up in their attic, I found a giant box that was marked model kits, and I started lifting through the stuff wrapped in paper. Most of it was Star Wars, but way down in one corner was this Tom McCann shoebox that says Ecto-1A and Robo-1. And I'm not an expert model maker, and never was, so I didn't really paint it beyond doing the fins. So, ooh, that label on the back side's coming off there. But, pretty cool to find, at least in that good a condition, knowing that it was in a box inside of a box and well protected with a piece of foam rubber wrapped around it like that. And there's the Robo-1 model kit. You down with OCP? Yeah, you know me! So, very happy to find both of those in pristine condition. Not even dusty, really.
Your move, creep.
Now, one thing that I always find kind of interesting is when you're not looking for something, but it comes across your path at the right time. For instance, the other day, when I went into the filing cabinet looking for my old Ghostbusters role-playing game stuff, I found 3 of these paperback novels and never once thought I'm missing a book. Days later, found this copy of Ghostbusters the novelization. Now you're saying, well, what's the big difference there? Okay. Could not have told you that I had 2 different copies or why I had them. This one, which has the reverse logo like they did in the UK and in some early stuff here, says first time in print. This one with the correct logo says 20 pages of photos from the movie. So same book, 2 different covers, and I just happened to find those and put them back together. Similarly, while I was looking in my parents' attic, I found not only costume stuff, but a few other 1-to-1 scale props that I had done, such as this piece of equipment from the roof of the Ecto-1. Now you can see this is cardboard tube wrapped in red electrical tape. This is a big block of square styrofoam. These were some metal pieces that my dad had out in his junk room. And this cylinder, yeah, that's baby wipes. So I found this up in their attic across the river, And I said, you know what? There's more to that. And I think I know where it is at home. Sure enough, found it among some other pieces of styrofoam that were stored maybe to be turned into something else, just as styrofoam fodder for dioramas and things. I found the base that I had done for it. Now you can see there used to be more caution tape right there. I don't know if the camera's picking that up or not. And then here's this hole that I cut in the top, I think with a steak knife. Now it's been 20 years or more since this entire prop was put together. They've spent 2 decades in different cities. And there we go. There is my piece of Ghostbusters roof rack equipment that I made when I was 20 years old or so.
Try to understand this as a high voltage laser containment system. Simply turning it off would be like dropping a bomb on the city.
And I know you guys are sitting there saying, Alex, that's a piece of crap. But to me, I'm like, wow, okay, yes, they're back together. I separated them at some point in the past and always assumed there would be a day when I would put them back together. And that day finally came. And one more thing, speaking of Ectomobiles, can somebody explain to me why I only have 1 Ecto-1 from Hot Wheels and why I have 5 DeLoreans? Sad thing is, I was digging in a bin at Walmart one day and found about half a dozen more of these and started to buy them again. I don't know. I guess I only ever found the Ecto the one time though. I got my shipping confirmation this morning for my Ghost Trap and some $16 figures that I bought. And then I'm waiting on a shipping confirmation on the 12-inch dolls. So, thank you for watching. I'm going to do a separate video about my costume progress. So, stay tuned to my channel and you'll hopefully see some more stuff. Lex the Robot. Thank you very much. Now, the one thing I don't really like about this shot are the orangish reddish... Orangish reddish? I never ate a brown reddish. You mean henna color at all?